Welcome to Breaking the News. This week we've come to the Kingdom of Fife in the ancient capital of Scotland. Yes, we are in Dunfermline. I'm Des Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And this week, we are coming to you from the Alhambra Theatre in Dunfermline. What a crowd, love it. Right, joining me are our regular guest Jim Smith and Shetland's Queen of Comedy, Marjolaine Robertson. And facing them are US exile Sarah Barron, and all the way from Ireland, it's comedian Neil Delamere. In the news this week, French President Emmanuel Macron will block plans for Dry January after pressure from drinks groups. For those who don't know, Dry January is a month-long initiative where you discover just how boring your friends are when you're sober. And NASA-backed scientists have begun to investigate the possibility of a new breed of genetically modified astronauts engineered to deal with the rigours of life far from human contact. They're currently training in Kirkcaldy. So, Jim, my pal, how are you this week?
All right, mate. Yeah, good.
Been busy down the farm?
Yes, all the farmers have been out celebrating because if you watch the telly on Sunday night, you'll discover that Guy Martin got a tractor to go up to 135 mile an hour. So now all the farmers are wanting one of these. It'll be a nice change for us farmers to go behind BMW drivers shouting, "Hurry up, you bloody tosser!"
And Marjolaine.
Hi.
Good to see you again. How are you?
Good. It's nice to be back. I see you got a name plaque for me this time.
Well, I didn't personally, but we've got one for you. You happy with it?
Well, yeah. So, I was just going to say, if anyone online is looking for me for dating and whatnot, my name is not spelt like that.
Oh, what?
It goes...
Hang on, has anybody got a Sharpie? Can we correct this?
It goes E-I-N, and I'm single, I'm not. Ooh. So, but this is the thing, because the ferry from Shetland to Aberdeen, they used to always print your name on the ticket. And every time I sailed, they'd call me like Mary Jane, Marjolaine, one time Marijuana, which is hard to board a boat with. But the last time they ever wrote my name on the ticket, they got Marjolaine right, but they called me Marjolaine Bobertson. So...
It's lovely to have you here, Marijuana Bobertson. Great to have her back in the show. So nice. Neil, how are you, sir? You all right?
I'm very well, yeah.
Can I just say, the last time I saw Neil brilliantly performing at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Yes.
Were you not doing a show about getting your dad a watch?
Yeah, that's what the whole show was about, trying to buy my dad an expensive watch. For two reasons. One, I love him to bits. Not a very Irish thing to say. But two, he's 84, so it's less of a gift now, more of a loan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to get it back fairly soon.
That's great. Sarah, what about you? It's good to have you back in Scotland.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yes.
My big update of the week, I was walking onto public transport, as I do often, because I live in London. Apologies. And I am not particularly confrontational. I'm not that direct. You think I would be because of the accent, but I've lived here long enough that you guys have scrubbed all the directness and positivity off me, so thanks for that. And there was this really obnoxious teenager on, and I decided to say something. He had a bag. He was using an extra seat for his bag. There was an elderly person on crutches, and they weren't moving the bag. So I asked him to move the bag. He gave me attitude about it. I know, thank you for that, because I thought it was jaw-dropping, right? And I knew, I could feel the energy between us that when either one of us left the bus, someone was gonna say something. And I started getting really terrible anxiety, and I just turned 40, and the bad feminist in me feels like old and ugly all the time. So I was like, please don't, quietly, internally, I was like, just don't say that I'm old. Please don't say that I'm old. So he gets up to leave. We make eye contact, and he goes, bye. And I go, bye. And then under his breath, he goes, slut. And I thought, thank you. Greatest thing that happened to me that week.
You can't top that. That's beautiful. Okay, they are our panel. This is Breaking News. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess the two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. Now, Jim and Marjolaine, can you tell me the first story, please?
Boris Johnson is calling for scientists to be allowed to create genetically modified.
Prime Minister, SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon
Believes genetic modification could protect
the future of Scotland, and Jeremy Corbyn's
babies.
Jim Smith, I'll come to you first then, pal. What are you thinking? Identify the first story, please.
I think it could be about this week's TV debate between Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn.
Did you catch it? And if so, what did you make of it?
Yes, well, Tuesday night, it was on the telly, and two sides going for it. Nobody really that interested in the result. It's all getting a bit boring. I thought it was dull, lifeless. Both teams played it safe, but in the end, big super John McGinn stood up and did the business, and we won.
Marjolaine, did you make much of the TV debates this week?
More now since I've heard what Jim said. Finally makes sense. Because I have to say, I watched it and I was like, I learnt a lot about our government watching this debate, because I learnt that it's just a slagging match and they avoid answers, and apparently there's only two folk running for the government. So I was like, oh, wow, it's like we're really America now. This is what it feels like, just to have two leaders, and apparently that's it.
Well, that was a big bone of contention, of course, because obviously we had not only Nicola Sturgeon, but Joe Swinson and various other party leaders saying they should have been in there. Did you feel there was something missing? Neil, did you make much of the TV debates this week?
Yeah, well, it was basically Jeremy Corbyn against Monster Munch in a suit. That's what he is. Last week he was in County Armagh in Tandragee in the Tato Crisp factory. Are you familiar with crisps, yes?
Yeah, Tato crisps.
Tato crisps, specifically Tato crisps. And the UK Prime Minister, in the midst of an obesity crisis, is in the Tato Crisp factory, this bastion of saturated fat. Do we really think that something that greasy and bad for the nation's health should be allowed to visit a crisp factory? Thank you.
Sarah, obviously you're used to in America having the head-to-head debates with the two political leaders.
Well, you say that, and we are, but of course, like the last debate that I watched was for the Democratic nominee for president, which I've since forgotten the number, but there was something, like I turned on the TV to watch it, and it was like watching an episode of Take Me Out.
Yeah, no likey, no righty.
Yeah.
That'd be great, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Arden, the Lib Dems, and so do you know the smallest majority in the whole UK? People here will know. It's just the next place over, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a majority of 2 between the Lib Dems and the Scottish Nationalist Party in, is it Northwest Fife? What's the people? Northeast Fife.
Northeast.
2 people.
Yeah.
Just kidnapped the Proclaimers.
Oh, you can't do that. They'll do anything to vote. You know this. They'll walk 500
miles, yeah.
And if it's a postal vote, they'll send a letter from America. Thank you very much for that, panel. Absolutely nailed. Yes, this was, of course, the week of the TV debates in the general election. Elsewhere on the campaign trail, Scottish Lib Dem leader Willie Rennie put on a Harry Potter school uniform whilst out campaigning this week, causing Hogwarts students to brace themselves for the introduction of tuition fees. In the live debate, Jeremy Corbyn accused Boris Johnson of handing control to the NHS to Big Pharma, though it's still not clear exactly what Jim Smith plans to do with that. A big issue for you, Jim. Of course, the head-to-head TV election debate is the right answer, Jim and Marjolaine. Well done, you get 2 points for that. To you now, Sarah and Neil, what was the other story we were after?
Boris Johnson is calling for scientists to be allowed to create genetically modified.
Prime Minister, SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon
Believes genetic modification could protect
the future of Scotland, and Jeremy Corbyn's
babies.
Sarah, you were chuckling away while we were playing that there. Any ideas?
I think the other story in there is the revelation that designer babies will be available to us within about 2 years.
Absolutely right. Yeah, this is the news that researchers at Abertay University predict we could have genetically modified designer babies within 2 years. Research leader Dr. Kevin Smith said that if common disorders could be avoided or delayed, the average disease-free lifespan could be substantially extended. Yes, in some parts of Fife, it could get as high as 43. Neil, what about you? GM babies, is it the next step of human evolution?
Yeah, the idea is to genetically stop genetically influenced diseases. So, for example, like say haemophilia, for example, which is prevalent in the royal families of Europe. But they have loads of sort of things wrong with them. Like some of them, they can't sweat, for example.
Yeah. But here, obviously, the problem is they're saying they want to genetically modify babies, but isn't it the case that everyone says that all babies are beautiful?
Babies are often sweet, but a lot of them, oh my God. I mean, my cousin has a kid who could use some genetic refining, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Jim, what about you? Think about it. If you could get science to enhance or adapt you in any way, what would you get done?
I don't like my accent. I would prefer like a kind of New York accent or something.
Really? I like your accent.
Yeah,
But how
yeah,
would
I
New
like
York
it.
Jim sound
Yeah.
like?
Hey, how you doing, Tori? How you doing? You want to come back to my apartment for a cup of coffee or something?
Right, now do that.
How does
that
that?
was I was so ready for it to be horrendous, and it was only pretty bad.
I quite like the New York you, but how would you then invite a lady back to your apartment now in your own accent?
Hey! Hey!
I think that one works. I'm happy with that.
That's effective.
Do you get a sheepdog to cut her off?
Yes, well done, Sarah and Neil. You get 2 points for that. That was the mashup of the election TV debate and designer babies. So at the end of that round, the teams are all square. Now, so much of our news is about public opinion. So for this round, we've gone out and about on the streets of Dunfermline and found some people to comment on the news. So Sarah and Neil, for your team, we dropped into a local ceramic store to chat to Laura, Caroline and Stuart. What story do you think that they are on about here?
I used to do it, but I don't anymore.
I have done it once. I hear you can do it online.
My mother-in-law, I'm sure she does it.
It's just worth it every now and then to give it a shot.
I'd be over the moon. I'd be delighted.
A little bit screaming.
The first thing we would do is probably get some wine.
I might go and buy a horse or something crazy.
I think because they said they could do it online and they go and buy a horse, that it is the lottery.
Yes.
25 years old.
25 years of the lottery. Yes, this is the news that the National Lottery is 25 years old this week, and to celebrate, they brought together 25 of the biggest winners, detailing who they are, where they're from, and how much they won, providing a golden opportunity to burglars across the UK. So, Neil, there we go. 25 years of the lottery. Do you play?
I do play, yes. I won't buy scratch cards on planes because, frankly, flying Ryanair is enough of a gamble for me. Just the idea of winning loads of money. Oh my God. Westlife have a reunion. I would buy all the tickets to a Westlife concert and be the only person who turned up. Just with a big banner saying, I like Boyzone. Yeah. Just you.
Sarah, what about you? Are you a fan of the lottery?
I am not. I feel like we're on opposite sides with this one, Neil, despite
Really?
our teammate ship. I feel like playing the lottery, so a detail that I heard, so it has to be right,
Okay.
is that if you walk up to someone on the street, a stranger, you'd have a better chance of guessing their phone number correctly than you would have ever winning the lottery. And with that in mind, I feel like it's essentially, I feel like you pay a weekly fee to be able to fantasize.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to go up and next time I see a policeman, go 999 and then buy a ticket.
There we go. That's how to do it.
What would you do, Jim, if you did play the lottery one week, you won big, lot of money, where would it go?
I thought about buying an old Forth Road Bridge, actually, because nobody's using that anymore, are they? No, it'd be brilliant. You know, and just make a hotel or something out of it. I think it'd be great. It's just sitting there rusting away. I'm surprised a boy for Kirkcaldy's not stuck it on eBay yet. You know, bridge for sale. one owner. Buyer to dismantle.
My dad once won a turkey at a raffle.
And a live one.
Really?
Were you there
they
when
went.
it happened?
Yeah, my dad came back and he went, "I've won a turkey," and they're delivering it, and a guy pulled up in a van, and we just heard.
No.
Yeah.
I thought you meant one.
No.
Yeah.
Turkey kind of swanned into the kitchen, going, "Right, which one of you lads is going to do this?" Yeah.
Oh God.
And my granny was 90, and she went, "I'll do it."
And did she do it?
God, yeah. She stared at the turkey, and the turkey killed itself.
What would you spend the money on then, Sarah? If you won the big jackpot, where would it go?
So here's what I think I'd do. Keeping in mind, I have a 3.5-year-old at home who isn't potty training and isn't sleeping, okay? So what I would do is I would take my money and I'd buy one of those designer babies and modify him to be better than my first one.
The National Lottery is celebrating its 25th anniversary this week. That is the correct answer. 2 points go to Sarah and Neil. Right, Jim and Marioline. Here's Connor, Caitlin and Jill from the local guitar store. What are they talking about here?
Don't know if I want that hanging up in my living room or my kitchen.
Depends who's going to be in it.
If I saw it, I'd think poor sheep.
No, I wouldn't complain about it. No, everybody's to their own.
I definitely wouldn't be up for it. Definitely not.
I would have done it when I was younger, just for a laugh.
My pose would be something like this.
So it would maybe be like that.
I'd do it in my underwear without a doubt, but I wouldn't go like full pickle.
There were certain suggestive poses there that are leaving me very confused. Marioline, what do you think they were talking about?
This is that story about the students' vet's calendar when they're posing naked of animals, but vegans got upset because the humans were naked. No mention about the unclothed animals.
Double standards. That's right. This is the controversial story about posing naked with sheep, or as it's called in Jim's house, a selfie.
I've got to say, I know it's a comedy show, but I've got to say, there's no way that the vet school would have let any animal be in distress.
Now,
I mean, it's vet school, naked men and sheep. I mean, it's been going on for years, really. You know, and all of a sudden there's a big hoo-ha.
Marioline, what did you make of it? Did you think it was inappropriate, the fact that they were doing it with no clothes on?
No, because in Shetland we have a range of naked calendars that come out quite frequently, all for charitable causes. Right. And there's one which was naked being with horses. And, you know, I never thought, it's all about raising money for the equestrian club, so it's lots of folk in different naked poses of horses. And it was fine. And they're always like, you can't see their face, but it's Shetland, so you're like, oh, I see Julie has a new tattoo.
One of my favourite things I've ever asked an audience member I said, what do you do? And it was in Scotland, and the guy said, I'm a sheep farmer. And I said, because I had just read this, and I was trying to create a bond at a gig, I said, I just read recently that sheep can recognise individual human faces. They're that intelligent. And he went, well, as long as they can't give evidence, I should be okay.
Oh, God.
Marioline, what about you then? Obviously, people get naked for certain causes that are important to them. Is there anything that would make you go naked?
Bath time.
Of course it would. What about you, Jim? Anything that would make you go naked?
Probably any weather over 12 degrees.
Yes, naked calendars is the correct answer, and 2 points go to Jim and Marioline. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. I'll play you a clip of Mystery Person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Jim and Marioline, you're first this time. Who is this?
I mean, if you gave me the outfit, I would.
You're smiling there, Jim. I think you know who it is.
It's Lorraine Kelly, isn't it? Lorraine Kelly.
Big news this week. Yes, Lorraine Kelly was making the news this week after clashing with US businesswoman Jennifer Arcuri on Good Morning Britain. Jim, what about it? Did you see the exchange then?
Yeah, I did. I did. And that woman's just sitting there saying, oh, that interview with Piers Morgan wasn't so bad. And then there's just this voice. And I like the way that Lorraine said it in pure Scots first.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wait, hey Dan, what's going on there? And the woman's like, what? And she says, what, you've come on and haven't answered any questions. What's going on with you? And just grilled her for about a minute and a half.
Oh, the hair stood on the back of my neck. It took me right back to when you're in the classroom and the person next to you is getting all the trouble from the teacher, and you're on the teacher's side. You're like, yeah, rip them to pieces, Lorraine.
Sarah, are you aware of Lorraine Kelly?
I am, yeah. And what I loved about it was I feel like when you come over here as an American, it takes you a while before you understand what you're in for.
Yeah.
And I think everything to do with American television is so, in a bad way, so polite that it's really boring. And even late night shows are boring. There's never any authentic chat. So to watch an American take it from a Scottish woman who was going to be like, we are not doing this. We are going to ask some hard questions was viscerally, physically satisfying.
But you could see her face drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sort of like, why are we not playing by the rules? I'm rich. What's happening? You're going down 3 pegs, and it's gorgeous. I loved it.
What about you, Neil? Are you a Lorraine Kelly fan?
How could you not be? I think what was cool about it is you don't expect that from Lorraine.
No.
Lorraine's show was always like, after the break, we're going to talk to a woman who's lost 2 stone by drinking her own wee. There's always this, it's always something a bit weird, and then she just kind of hammered this woman. But she evaded every single question. Jerry Adams was going, she's been very evasive here now. She should answer 1 or 2 questions, for God's sake, you know?
Jim, we could just deploy her. Any situations Lorraine can sort.
Drop her in a UN helicopter anywhere, in the Middle East or Trump impeachment or something like that.
Can you imagine just Lorraine going in and sorting it out?
Unless you dropped her somewhere that was already peace and she started something.
Ms. Arcuri refused to answer any of the questions on Good Morning Britain, not even the competition one about what month does Christmas fall in. Yes, there you go. 2 points to Jim and Marilyn. That was, of course, the Queen of Scotland, Lorraine Kelly. Right, Sarah and Neil, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I put on 10 kilograms of fat, shall we say, for the voyage, which went within 2 weeks.
Okay, so who's putting on 10 kilograms of fat for a voyage?
Moby Dick.
What are you thinking, Neil?
I think it's an explorer, an adventurer. So it's not Bear Grylls, so it's the other one. It's Ant Middleton.
Ant Middleton is the right answer. Yeah, it's a story that military chiefs are blaming the increase in recruits with beards on TV presenter and ex-SAS soldier Ant Middleton. And given that Ant might be able to find out where I live and can probably kill a man with his bare hands, can I just say that I think Ant's beard looks really beautiful? And if anybody wants to copy it, that is fine by me. Is Ant Middleton? Well done, Neil. So this is the bearded army recruits. What do you think about this?
Well, we're not overly concerned by that sort of stuff in the Irish Armed Forces, to be honest with you. I did a gig once. It was a kind of a TV thing up a mountain, and the Irish Army walked around the corner, most of them.
Right.
And on manoeuvres, genuinely, and they all had high-vis jackets on. Only the Irish Army would have high-vis and camouflage gear on at the same time in the middle of a mountain range.
Brilliant. They were going undercover on a building site by the sounds of it.
She's like, I don't want to be seen, but I want to be seen, you know?
Yeah.
I imagine him leaving the barracks going, give me that black face paint. You'll want some glitter as well, Declan. I will. Just wondering. So her suitness is encouraging beards, basically,
Well, listen,
in the army.
Jim, you're also a bearded man. Do you keep the beard? I mean, I've got a bit of stubble, but I think you guys are much more professional at the beardness.
Well, it's easy. I just don't shave.
Yeah. There's no maintenance.
No.
And are you a fan of the beard? Is it something you're going to stick with, or are you ever going to go clean shaven
I've had
again?
the beard about 7 or 8 years now, I think.
Yeah.
Just since it kicked in. And it's a great... you can tell how, if it's a busy time of year, the length of the beard. I mean, sometimes I come out the lambing shed looking like Hamish from Braveheart. You know.
What do you think of this then, Sarah? Are you a fan of the beard, first and foremost?
Yeah, I know this is really quite gross. I love a beard. Like, my husband has one. Most men that I've dated have a beard, and I think it's because my dad has one, so let's not dive psychologically on that. But I love beards.
Yeah.
I think the army is the new best place for the hipsters because we give them something practical to do. They have less time to complain about naked sheep calendars.
Well, let me ask you this question then, Jim. If it came to it, and you were called, do you think you could cut it in the SAS?
If I was called, I'd put a jacket on.
Yes, and Middleton is the right answer. 2 points go to Sarah and Neil. And it's time now for a final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I'll read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
And did you always know your pies were special?
That's pastry enthusiast and Radio Scotland presenter Gary Robertson repeating a chat-up line he obviously heard in Greg's. Love it. Right, let's go. Fingers on buzzers. Here we go. 68% of men can't remember what?
Oh, sorry, I had it there.
Lovely. Brilliant. Right, let's go for it again. 68% of men can't remember what?
To wear trousers. Sorry.
It's not that. It's not, but it was a really good get. You're not even a man. 68% of men cannot remember their PIN number. That is the answer. There you go. Next one for you. 1 in 4 men have had to interrupt sex due to what?
Their wife ringing them.
It's an amazing answer, Neil. 1 in 4 men have had to interrupt sex due to what?
To put their clothes back on so as not to offend the vegans.
1 in 4 men have had to interrupt sex due to what?
Check the Scotland score.
It's not.
Super John McGinn! Oh! Sorry.
It's a horrible.
Sorry.
I can give you the actual answer. 1 in 4 men have had to interrupt sex due to a testicles injury.
1 in 4?
Yeah, the rest of us just go through. Just walk it off. Walk it off. A guy comes out with a magic sponge like a football match from the 80s, and you just keep going.
And did you always know your pies were special?
Oh, there's the klaxon, which means that Gary has Robertson. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Jim Smith and Marjolaine Robertson.
Well done.
Oh, well done. And commiserations to Sarah Barron and Neil Delamere. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news, Justin. Mystery bundles of cash keep turning up in a northern English village, but honest residents continue to hand them in to the police. The Chief Inspector will not speculate on what happens to the money once it's handed in, but has vowed to keep a closer eye in the town from his brand new luxury yacht. And Christmas has again been cancelled for Doctor Who, with no special airing for the 2nd year running. Before last year, it had become a tradition to have an ancient figure and a small group of dedicated followers whisk us back into the past. But this year, he's busy running against Boris Johnson in the general election. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye.
Get your pie popped in the micro for 11 tonight when the lads are back, giving their unique and sideways look at Scottish football in A View from the Terrace. And next we have brand new comedy with The State of It.